Are you over 60, or do you have someone close to you who is? Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever gone out of your way to eat healthier, choosing vegetables that everyone says are good for you, only to feel like your joints are still stiff, your knees still ache, or your legs feel heavier than they used to? What if I told you that some of those so-called healthy veggies you've been eating, yes, the very ones you probably have in your kitchen right now, might actually be making your joint pain worse? I know it sounds shocking, maybe even a little unbelievable, but what if I told you it's not your age that's the issue? It might be what's on your plate? See, joint stiffness, aching knees, swollen ankles, they're not just part of getting older. Like people always say, they can be powerful signals. Your body trying to tell you something's off. And the truth is, sometimes the foods we think are helping us, especially certain vegetables, can actually be working against us, silently making things harder for our aging bodies. In today's video, we're going to shine a light on 3 vegetables you probably eat without a second thought. Vegetables that could be secretly inflaming your joints and making it harder to move. But don't worry, I'm also going to show you 3 amazing alternatives that can do just the opposite. Nourish your joints, reduce stiffness, and help you feel stronger on your feet again. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to share one little-known secret that's helping seniors all around the world feel more mobile, more active, and more independent, all without pills or painful treatments. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know who's watching. Drop a quick "I'm here" in the comments if you're ready to take charge of your health and feel better in your body again. And if you're new here, welcome to the Seniors Health family. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the simple tips that can truly change your life. Let's start with the first vegetable you might want to rethink adding to your plate, especially if joint pain, stiffness, or swelling has become part of your daily life. Vegetable number 1 to avoid: tomatoes. George, age 67, had always taken pride in eating clean. Every evening, like clockwork, he'd fix himself a colorful salad, tomatoes, a sprinkle of olive oil, maybe some basil, and just a dash of sea salt. He believed it was the perfect way to stay heart healthy. But over time, something strange started to happen. He began waking up with swollen fingers. Knees that once carried him effortlessly on morning walks now throbbed halfway down the street. His shoes started feeling tighter, and not because they shrank. At first, he blamed the weather, then age, then maybe just sleeping wrong. But after removing tomatoes from his diet on a suggestion from a friend, something shifted. The swelling reduced, the aching eased, and George began to wonder, how could something so fresh, so seemingly healthy be the problem? The truth lies in what tomatoes contain. They belong to a group of plants called nightshades. Inside them is a natural compound known as solanine. Now, solanine isn't dangerous for everyone, but for some people, especially older adults dealing with arthritis or chronic joint inflammation, it can trigger or worsen joint pain. You see, as we age, our immune systems often become more sensitive. Inflammation becomes more common and less forgiving. So while tomatoes do contain antioxidants like lycopene, which can be helpful in other areas, that benefit doesn't always outweigh the risk if your joints are reacting to solanine. But here's the twist most people don't realize. We often assume all inflammation is caused by sugar or processed foods. Tomatoes? They're rarely on the suspect list. But for many seniors, they absolutely should be. Now, this doesn't mean you can never eat tomatoes again. But if you've been feeling unexplained stiffness or swelling, especially in your hands, knees, or ankles, it's worth experimenting. Cut them out for 2 to 3 weeks. See how your body responds. And if you're looking for a satisfying replacement, roasted red bell peppers are a great option. They're naturally sweet, rich in vitamin C, and they don't carry the inflammatory baggage that nightshades do. Toss them in your salad, blend them into a soup, or stuff them with quinoa. They're just as colorful, just as versatile, and a whole lot friendlier to your joints. And tomatoes aren't the only quiet culprits. The next one might be sitting in your blender right now, disguised as a health booster. Vegetable number 2 to avoid: spinach. Linda, 72, had made it her mission to get healthier after a mild stroke. She started her mornings with a green smoothie, spinach, banana, a scoop of protein powder, and almond milk. At first, it felt like she was doing all the right things. But after a few weeks, she started to feel something strange in her knees, a sharp, nagging kind of pain that hadn't been there before. She pushed through, thinking it was a normal part of aging. Maybe it was the weather, or maybe her arthritis flaring up. But when her doctor asked about her diet and pointed to spinach as a possible trigger, she was stunned. Spinach? That leafy green we've all been told eat more of? Yes, because while spinach is nutrient-rich and packed with fiber, it's also high in something called oxalates. These naturally occurring compounds combine with calcium in your body and lead to the formation of crystals, tiny ones that can settle in your joints or kidneys. In seniors, especially those prone to kidney issues or inflammation, this can silently add to the pain. What's tricky is that this doesn't affect everyone the same way. Some people process oxalates without a problem, but others, especially those over 60 with a slower metabolism or decreased kidney function, may struggle. The misconception here is simple. If it's green and leafy, it must be good for you. But just like every person's body is unique, so is the way it responds to certain foods. So what can you do instead? Try swapping spinach for kale or arugula. Kale is loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, and it's much lower in oxalates. Arugula, with its slightly peppery bite, is great in salads and rich in nitrates that support better blood flow to your legs. Both are gentle on your joints and still help keep your bones and muscles strong. And the best part? They blend just as well in smoothies, soups, or stir-fries, so you don't have to sacrifice your routine for your relief. Now, let's move to the third vegetable, one that most people love to grill, but could be quietly adding fuel to your inflammation. Vegetable number 3 to avoid: eggplant. Peter, 70, had a Friday tradition: eggplant parmesan with a side of garlic bread. It was his comfort food, but by Sunday morning, his body would protest. His knees would crack with each step. He'd feel stiffness in his lower back and ankles. Bending to tie his shoes? A struggle. He never thought to connect it to the eggplant. After all, it's a vegetable. It's grilled. It's baked. What could possibly be wrong with that? Just like tomatoes, eggplants are also part of the nightshade family. And yes, they contain solanine, that same inflammatory compound we talked about earlier. For seniors whose bodies are already fighting off chronic inflammation, adding solanine regularly through eggplants, tomatoes, or even peppers can push the body over its limit. Many people love eggplants for their texture. They're hearty, they soak up flavors, and they feel like a meaty veggie. But for sensitive individuals, they can be a hidden source of nerve sensitivity, swelling, and pain that lingers long after the meal is done. Here's the catch. Grilled eggplant often looks like the healthy option on your plate. It's not fried, it's not processed. But if your body doesn't handle nightshades well, eating eggplant is like inviting inflammation into the front door. So what's a better alternative? Zucchini. This humble green vegetable is soft, easy to digest, and supports hydration. It's also rich in vitamin B6, which helps reduce inflammation. You can grill it, bake it, spiralize it into pasta. However you prepare eggplant, zucchini can take its place with ease and leave your joints thanking you later. It's amazing how one simple substitution can make a world of difference. Now that you've seen the other side of the coin, the vegetables that may be causing you more pain than nourishment, it's time to talk about the flip side, the foods that can actually help rebuild, protect, and even strengthen your joints as you age. We're moving into the good news now. The 3 vegetables you should be adding to your plate regularly if you want stronger joints, less pain, and more confident movement every single day. Let's begin with a food that's as comforting as it is powerful: sweet potatoes. Mary, 68, had always been someone who loved her traditional meals. Mashed white potatoes were a staple at dinner. She didn't think much of it until her ankles began swelling almost daily. Her legs would feel heavy. Walking around the house took more effort than usual, and climbing the stairs started to feel like a slow climb up a hill. Then one day, her granddaughter brought over a plate of roasted sweet potatoes, slightly caramelized edges, sprinkled with cinnamon and a touch of olive oil. Mary gave them a try and loved them, but what she didn't expect was how her body responded. Within a week of switching out white potatoes for sweet potatoes, her ankle swelling reduced. She felt lighter. Her energy was steadier throughout the day. And something inside her said, "This is different." And she was right. Sweet potatoes are one of nature's richest sources of beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant that your body converts into vitamin A. But that's not all. They're packed with anti-inflammatory compounds that help reduce joint pain and discomfort, especially in the knees and hips. You see, one of the reasons joints become painful as we age is due to something called oxidative stress, a process where unstable molecules damage the tissues in our body, including the cartilage in our joints. Sweet potatoes help combat this by supplying antioxidants that neutralize those molecules, helping your joints stay more protected and your movement more fluid. Not only that, but sweet potatoes are rich in fiber, which supports better digestion, a key part of reducing inflammation throughout the body. What many people don't realize is that gut health and joint health are closely connected. When your gut is inflamed, it can send those inflammatory signals throughout your body, including your joints. Sweet potatoes offer a gentle, nourishing solution. Now, you don't need to eat them every single day, but incorporating them into your meals a few times a week can make a noticeable difference. And they're incredibly versatile. You can bake them whole, mash them with a little olive oil, or slice them into wedges and roast them with herbs. Add a dash of cinnamon for extra anti-inflammatory support, and you got a side dish your joints will thank you for. And if sweet potatoes help with inflammation, this next vegetable helps with something just as important, lubrication. Because it's not just about reducing pain, it's about improving how smoothly your joints move day in, day out. Let's talk about avocados. Carl, 73, always been an active man. He prided himself on walking daily, never missing his morning routine. But slowly, he began to notice a troubling shift. His knees would start to ache just a few minutes into his walks. He'd feel unstable, like his joints didn't want to cooperate. He tried stretching more. He bought new shoes. Nothing seemed to help. Then, almost by accident, he began adding half an avocado to his breakfast every day. He liked the texture, found it filling, and didn't think much about it. Until about 2 weeks later, when he realized his knees weren't complaining as much. He felt more balanced, more stable. And by the end of that month, Carl was back to walking several blocks with ease. So what happened? Avocados are packed with healthy monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid, which helps reduce inflammation around the joints and supports joint lubrication. Think of it like adding oil to a squeaky door hinge, except the door is your knee and the oil is the avocado. They're also rich in potassium, which helps regulate fluid balance and reduce swelling of the legs and ankles, especially in seniors. And let's not forget vitamin E, a key nutrient that supports cartilage health and may slow joint degeneration. Now here's the thing. Many people avoid avocados because they fear the fat. And I get it. For years, we were told to cut out fats to be healthy. But here's the truth. Not all fats are created equal. The fats in avocados are the kind your joints crave. They reduce inflammation, support cell repair, and help you absorb other joint-supporting vitamins like A, D, E, and K. If you're over 60, this is one fat you don't want to leave off your plate. So how do you add it to your meals? It's simple. Spread it on whole grain toast with a pinch of sea salt and cracked pepper. Blend it into your smoothies for extra creaminess. Dice it up into your salad. Or simply slice it in half and enjoy it with a spoon. However you choose to enjoy it, your joints and your entire body will feel the difference. And that brings us to our third powerful vegetable, one that not only supports your joints but helps build a muscle around them, giving you more strength, more stability, and more confidence in every step you take. Let's explore the power of broccoli. Deborah, 75, had reached a point where she was scared to get up from her favorite chair. Her knees would wobble, her legs felt weak, and the thought of losing her independence terrified her more than anything else. Her son encouraged her to make a few small dietary changes. Nothing extreme. Just add broccoli to her meals 3 times a week, steamed, sautéed, even tossed into soups. She didn't love the taste at first, but within a month, Deborah noticed something remarkable. Her legs felt firmer. Her balance improved. She stood taller. And for the first time in years, she danced at her granddaughter's wedding. This wasn't a miracle. It was science. Broccoli contains a unique compound called sulforaphane, which helps block enzymes that contribute to joint tissue breakdown. In simple terms, it helps protect your cartilage from wearing down too quickly. But there's more. Broccoli is rich in vitamin K, which supports bone health, and vitamin C, which is essential for collagen formation, the substance that cushions your joints. It's also high in calcium and fiber, making it a full-body food that strengthens not only your joints but your muscles, bones, and digestive system. And here's something many people don't realize. As you age, maintaining muscle around the joints becomes just as important as preserving the joints themselves. The stronger the muscles that surround your knees, hips, and ankles, the more support your joints have, and the less pain you'll feel doing everyday things like standing, walking, or climbing stairs. Broccoli supports all of that. Now, don't boil it until it's mushy. That strips away many of the nutrients. Instead, steam it gently for just a few minutes, or roast in the oven with olive oil and garlic. Even better, toss it into a stir-fry with other joint-friendly vegetables and lean protein for a complete, balanced meal. Adding broccoli to your plate isn't just a healthy choice. It's a strategic one. It's about reclaiming control over your mobility, about nourishing your body in ways that allow you to do more, feel better, and live the life you want on your terms. You've now discovered 3 vegetables you should absolutely add to your meals if you're over 60 and want better joint health, less pain, and stronger legs. Sweet potatoes to calm inflammation, avocados to lubricate and nourish your joints, and broccoli to rebuild strength and protect the cartilage that keeps you moving. But before we wrap up, let's shift for a moment away from facts and food and into something deeper. Because behind every ache, every step, every choice we make about our health, there's a story. There's fear. There's love. There's hope. It's not easy watching our bodies or our loved ones slow down. There's a moment, often quiet and unnoticed by others, where you realize things are changing. Maybe it's the way your knees don't bend as easily in the morning. Maybe it's the way your legs feel heavier after standing too long. Or maybe it's that moment when your favorite shoes don't feel comfortable anymore. Not because they've changed, but because you have. A simple walk to the mailbox becomes something you have to plan. Stairs feel like they were built steeper overnight. And getting up from a chair that used to feel easy now requires a pause, a breath, maybe even a helping hand. It's not dramatic. It's not sudden. It just creeps in. And what's even harder is that people around you may not notice. They still see the strong, capable you from years past. They don't see the small sacrifices, avoiding certain errands, skipping that walk after dinner, not playing as long with the grandkids. It's not because you don't want to. It's because your body isn't cooperating the way it used to. But here's the thing I need you to hear. This is not your fault. It's not weakness. It's not laziness. And it's not failure. It's your body adapting, responding, asking for help in the only way it knows how, through pain, through stiffness, through discomfort. And that brings us to something important, something empowering. You are not helpless. You are not stuck. And you are not at the mercy of age. Because every single choice you make, especially when it comes to what you feed your body, can make a difference. You just discovered how certain vegetables that seem harmless might actually be contributing to the discomfort you're feeling. And you've also learned that there are powerful alternatives. Foods that don't just fill your stomach, but that fuel your healing. See, aging doesn't mean giving up the things you love. It means finding new ways to support your body so you can keep doing them. It's about nourishment, not restriction. It's about strengthening, not shrinking. It's about stepping into a new season of life with awareness, with intention, and with love for your body, for your mind, and for your future. So what can you do now? Start small. Don't try to change everything overnight. Maybe today you choose sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes. Maybe tomorrow you try adding half an avocado to your breakfast. Maybe this week you gently steam some broccoli instead of reaching for that frozen dinner. Small steps become big progress over time. Talk to your doctor. Ask questions. Bring these vegetables up in your next checkup. Share what you've learned with your spouse, your children, your friends. You never know who else might be struggling in silence, who might be one change away from relief. And most importantly, don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone you care about, a friend who's been complaining about knee pain, a neighbor who doesn't get around like they used to, a loved one who thinks it's too late to feel better. Let them know that food matters, that choices matter, that they matter. Because here's the truth I want you to carry with you after this video. Aging is not a decline. It's a transition, a transformation, a season. And just like any season, it brings its own beauty, its own strength, and its own challenges. But you don't face it empty-handed. You face it with wisdom, with experience, with tools you didn't have when you were younger. You've lived, you've learned, and now you're learning again, this time how to take care of yourself in ways that are deeper, more intentional, and more nourishing than ever before. Don't underestimate the power of your body to change. It may feel tired today. It may feel sore, but it's still working. It's still responding. It's still listening to what you feed it, how you treat it, and how you care for it. And with the right fuel, the right choices, the right mindset, you'll be amazed at what your body is still capable of doing. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, you're still here. You're still breathing. You're still learning. You're still moving. And that means it's not too late. Not too late to feel stronger. Not too late to ease that pain in your knees. Not too late to walk farther, stand taller, and smile more because you feel better inside. So be kind to yourself. Be patient with your progress. And never forget, this journey is still yours. You're writing the next chapter, and it can be filled with strength, with freedom, with energy, and yes, with joy. You've made it this far. Before we go, let's quickly recap what we covered today, because the right knowledge is your first step toward real change. The 3 vegetables to avoid if you're over 60 and dealing with joint pain or leg issues are tomatoes, spinach, and eggplant. While they may seem healthy, for many seniors, they can quietly increase inflammation and discomfort. And the 3 vegetables to start embracing for stronger joints and better mobility are sweet potatoes, avocados, and broccoli. These are anti-inflammatory powerhouses that help reduce stiffness, rebuild joint health, and keep you moving with confidence. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed certain foods affecting your joints or legs, either for better or worse? Share your experience down in the comments. I read everyone, and your story might just help someone else watching today. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to Seniors Health for more weekly insights that support aging gracefully, powerfully, and naturally. Every video we create is made with you in mind, so you can keep living the life you love with strength, knowledge, and purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay informed, stay active, and most of all, stay hopeful. You've got more strength than you think. I'll see you in the next video.